Estoy muerto. What's up? And today I'm gonna do a movie review on the Best Picture nominee, Roma. And Roma is nominated for Best Picture in the Oscars this year, and it is not the first time a movie directed by Alfonso Cuarón had been nominated for Best Picture. Last time it was Gravity, and damn, I love the movie. I know a lot of people hate on Gravity, but it was just such an intense, thrilling, solid experience that is just so gripping and suspenseful and almost dangerous from start to finish. And there are also a lot of other great films directed by Alfonso Cuarón, including the third installment of the Harry Potter series, The Prisoner of Azkaban. My favorite Harry Potter film out of all the 8, and I just love how smoothly it blends the dark side of Harry Potter and the fun, young, innocent side of Harry Potter. And of course, we also have The Children of Men and several other great movies directed by Alfonso Cuarón. So, normally we would expect Alfonso Cuarón to make another huge, high-budget movie, but instead, he came out with Roma, which is a way more personal movie that is about his childhood, his city, his neighborhood, his family, and it was actually a bold move in my opinion. And since it is nominated Best Picture by the Oscars, and a lot of reviews say that this movie is great, I watched the movie. Okay, my phone is glitching out. Anyway, this movie is one of the most interesting movies that I've watched that came out in 2018. And this movie, I guess, focuses more on the experience than it is on the plot, while Cuarón's previous movies like Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban, of course, focuses more on the plot, but this one's special. It's more of an experience. In fact, we've already seen that transition in Gravity. Gravity is a movie that provides a very thrilling and realistic and in-your-face experience on what it's like to be out in space, but at the same time, it also gives a plot. And in Roma, Alfonso Cuarón illustrates Mexico City and his neighborhood of Roma, and he kind of used a plot device, sort of a storyline, to back that up. So at first, the premise does feel kind of hollow and weak, and that is, I guess, my biggest gripe with the movie. And the plot is actually kind of straightforward. We have a family. We have Sophia, the woman, and the mother in charge, and we have her husband, Antonio, and then we have Cleo, who is her maid, the family's maid, and we have also another maid, Adele, I forgot the name, sorry. And aside from that, we also have the grandmother, Teresa, and the children, Paco, Sophie, and two other. Yeah, it was a huge family, and Cleo also had a boyfriend called Fermin, and Adele also had another boyfriend, but anyway, it focuses a lot on the family. And then stuff's happened, relationship problems between Sophia and Antonio, and Cleo and her boyfriend also had some issues that caused Cleo to be pregnant, but Fermin refused to claim that baby, and, it's a rough time for the family. And it takes place in the 1970s, so it is a really cool perspective for me to look at Mexico City in the 70s and completely in black and white. Yes, the movie is completely in black and white. I don't know why. Is it to make the movie feel old? Is it to make the movie feel plain? I am not quite sure, actually. But one thing I am really, really sure about the movie is that the cinematography is so, so, so good. If Alfonso Cuarón doesn't win the Best Cinematography Award in the Oscars this year, there would be a huge problem because the cinematography is amazing. Of course, we have the signature Alfonso Cuarón slow pans. Like 90% of the movie is made up of these very, very slow pans. Sometimes the camera is handheld, and you need to pay very close attention to detail to notice that. Because, say, usually when characters walk around, it's a very slow pan. But when something risky and dangerous is happening, it's handheld. It shakes a bit. And when Cleo was holding a tray of tea, it was handheld as well. So that is pretty clever. And the frame compositions and all that, they are beautiful. And that one scene when Cleo and Teresa were buying a crib for the baby, and at the same time, outside of the store, a student's protest is happening. That is the most memorable scene to me. It's visceral. It's destructive. You can feel it with this very slow pans, but at the same time, it's so chaotic and loud. And that brings me to my second point, my second favorite thing about the movie. The sound editing and mixing is brilliant. Alfonso Cuarón really captured the spirit of Mexico City and the spirit of Roma with all these different sounds. These marching bands, people screaming, people singing, dogs barking, and in the streets we have all these, people who are selling all these, crap toys. Yeah. Also, one thing to mention is that this movie is completely in Spanish. And, Mexican Spanish. And I turned on the English subtitles, of course, because I don't speak Spanish. Not really. I know uno, dos, tres, but that's pretty much it. The performance here is just okay, in my opinion. It's a surprise for me to see that the actress for Sofia is nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and Yalitza Aparicio is nominated for Best Leading Actress. It was actually really surprising, but yeah, the performance is not bad. In fact, it's Yalitza's debut performance, and it's not terrible, but it's not really that outstanding anyway. So I'm still rooting for Glenn Close. I'm sorry, but still, I have to admit, Alfonso Cuarón mainly focused. I mean, the plot mainly focused on Cleo, who's a maid in the family, in the household, and usually a maid is overlooked, and I really, really appreciate that. And that also reminds me of one scene when there was a fire in the forest, and it was New Year's Eve, and everyone's holding buckets of water and pouring out the fire, but one drunk guy, he went from the back of the frame, far from behind, and he walked up front, and he was drunk. So he was in a hideous costume, and he didn't care about the fire, and he sang a song. And that was actually a pretty interesting scene, not gonna lie. One thing about the movie that also really, really surprises me is that this movie doesn't have music at all. At all, 100%. I mean, we have the background music, like music that's in the plot, in the story, and it's a part of the sound effects, but that's it. We don't have a score for the movie. And yeah, that's why some scenes sometimes feel a little slog, feel like a little dragged on, feel a little dull. But at the same time, because there is no music at all, this movie feel really, really realistic. And that also makes me think that all the slow pans in the movie, make us feel like we are the third party instead of being inside the story. We are looking at the story and the city in a very objective view. And yeah, overall, I think the movie is a very interesting experience. Um, yeah, this movie wouldn't be rated R if it weren't for that 1 or 2 minutes of male nudity. But you know what? I'm okay with that. And yeah, normal moviegoers who enjoy entertaining movies, explosions, fights will probably not be a huge fan of this movie. But if you really want to experience a lifestyle and experience family and love, I feel like this movie is a good one. And yeah, this movie did grow on me a lot, and I'm saying Roma is worth watching, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So, have you watched Roma? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And yeah, seriously, please subscribe. I am not in the best shape, and it would be amazing. It would be very heartwarming to help this poor guy out. And, of course, thanks for watching.